Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you my latest layout for Hey Little Magpie. And for this layout I'm using the wonderful Pinkfresh Studio collection, The Simple Things. Now I was really taken by two papers, but most specifically the one on the right with the flowers called Small Joys. And I cut out the flowers in strips, obviously off camera because it did take me quite some time. And it's not until I started to cut the flowers out did I realise they weren't exactly in line. They're a little wiggly, but actually, whilst playing an audiobook, it was absolutely fine. But I'm not sure I could have watched the TV at the same time. And what I'm doing is I'm just laying the strips with the flowers on in line with the paper behind it. So the paper behind it is another one from this collection, which has a beautiful ombre on it, and I really loved it. So that is the All the Things paper. So basically I'm going to get the ombre of flowers to try and match with the ombre on the All the Things, which is going to be behind the cardstock. And it also matches with the word wonderful, which is on the puffy word collection that comes with this. Puffy title stickers, I think they call them. So I brought in my brushes and my Distress Oxides. I just want to take the white off the cardstock a bit. I'm not after for a very strong colour, and in the end, in the photographs, it's not as obvious as it is in real life, unfortunately. And I'm just trying to add similar colours. I don't think I'm being too obsessive about it, but I was just having a look at which colours I've got. I don't want them to be too harsh, so I'm dabbing off the ink there on the left as I go, but just roughly to match. I've got no idea how long the strips are going to be at this stage, but I just thought if I added a little bit of ink behind, then it would just take the white off the cardstock a little bit. In fact, when it came to the blue strip, I felt the lilac-y colours in the Distress Oxides were more suitable, so I add those instead of an actual blue. The blue was just a bit too blue, if you know what I mean. So I don't know whether you've seen the Simple Things collection. What I will say is at the moment there are new collections being added to Hey Little Magpie shop literally on a daily basis. There's loads of new products in there. So if you get a chance to make a brew and actually have a look what's on offer, I would really recommend it. You're definitely going to find something that you like because there's so much choice out there at the moment. So yeah, I would recommend you have a go and do that. So I'm nearly there. I'm going to possibly come back in and try and blend a few of the colours together. The camera's not liking that at all, unfortunately, so I do apologise. But it's all done, and I've brought the strips back in, and I've got the cardstock. I've got the background behind it, but they're not stuck down. If you've watched me before, you'll know I won't have stuck them down yet. But I'm just trying to figure out what sort of lengths I want them. And I'm not sure, and I didn't want to cut into them too quickly because actually they did take a while to cut out. So I'm bringing in the photographs and I'm going to look at how I want to embellish it before I go any further. So there is a envelope in one of the sets that goes with this collection, and from the journaling bits, and I've got that there in the tray on the left, and that too on the reverse had the ombre. So I will be thinking about using that as well. So I'm sticking the word wonderful to white cardstock, and I'm going to cut it out off camera with a bit of a border. That means it's very similar to the flowers because all of those were cut with a little white border as well. And it also just lifts it up a little bit off the photographs. Now, I've done all this fussy cutting. I don't want to cover it all up. So the embellishment for this layout will be quite small, which isn't really me, but I thought it suited it. So I'm just trimming this envelope so that it opens up fully so that I can use the colours that go underneath the photographs, if that makes sense. So I'm looking at using the orangey, yellowy pinkies that's at one end. So I'm going to just trim a couple of pieces off to go behind the photographs. It's not quite as tall as the photos. I think they're literally 3x4, but that's fine because the bottom of the photographs is going to be covered by the title. So I'm just going to get these into position and then I'll know more of an idea how I'm going to cut the strips. So I've got a sticker there on the right of the photographs. That was on the cardstock sticker sheet, which says collect moments, not things. I've also brought in a couple of flowers. One of them's from the vellum ephemera set, because yet again, it's there, but it's not there and not taking away from the background. And a little bit at the top left, which says love this. And actually I'm sticking with the ombre still, so I've got an orange sticker on the left and I've got a pink sticker on the right, just to go with the theme. In true me style, I've just gone through all the bits and pieces in the tray just to make sure I've not missed anything. And now I'm going to come back in and I'm going to stick the flowers to the white cardstock with a bit of foam behind them. So what I do is I'm trimming my foam pads so that I can lay them down the centre of each of these fussy cut strips without them showing. And then I'm going to start in the centre because I've got an odd number. So I'm going to put this pale pink in the centre. I've got an idea where that is. And then I'm going to work outwards from there. I'm not too concerned about them being exactly straight, but I just thought if I start well, then it won't be too bad by the time I get to the sides. So that was the plan. I'm going to trim as I go. Just changing them up. I'm not really trying not to overthink about it. I want enough of them to show either side. I know the ink is underneath and it's getting more and more covered because I'm going to put the flowers quite close together, but actually it's I'm liking the way that it's looking. So if you've not watched our videos before, if you could give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, we would really appreciate it. As you can see, I trimmed some of them off camera and I'm now coming back in to stick them all back together again. And I'm going to make a bit of a mess with all these bits of foam pads. But I'm just trying to get them close enough so there's not too big of gaps, but they're not really touching. They go down reasonably well between each other. Some of them, they weren't next to each other originally on the pattern paper, so they don't necessarily link in as well as they did on the original. But I think with the ombre effect, you don't really notice that so much. So it's definitely coming together. I'm going to trim the odd one off, even though I thought they were the right length, because when I've come to stick them down, I've thought they may be a little bit shorter, just added a bit more variety. Obviously, you could do this and use less of the colours than I did, but I did think it worked really well with the background paper. So all of the flower strips are stuck down, so now it's just the finishing touches. I've already chosen which bits I want, so I'm going to just come back in with some double-sided tape and some more foam pads and get the last few bits into position. I decided that I'd like to see the flowers on the left. It's a very, very pale peachy pink, so I'm going to keep those and just brought the embellishments in a little, just so it looked a little bit more, I was pleasing. The photographs, just briefly, were taken outside a shop doorway in London. I just really liked the way it was on the South Bank and we were just walking past. I just thought they're fake, but they look really, really beautiful. As you from the outfit, it definitely was I think it was last spring. And I just thought, and I convinced my husband just to take a couple of snaps of me with the flowers. So I'm really pleased. Obviously my jacket's quite bright and there's no enough of that blue in the layout, but I think actually it still works really well because all the flower colours are so nice and soft that they go with the Pinkfresh Studio paper. So no concerns about that. I do need to do a bit of work on the vellum flowers that are pink that I'm using on the right, and I will actually take them apart and cut them into 3 bits so I can actually get them to go around the title and not cover the words of the sticker. I even ended up trimming a little bit of the title as well, just to make sure that I could still read the words, because otherwise it would be pointless having it there. So I'm going to just tuck the bits of vellum in and get the last few bits into the position. So the last thing I decided I was going to do, which I didn't really think about at the very beginning, I've decided I would add white centres to all of the flowers. So I'm using a Nouveau Crystal Drops. It's called Simply White. So it's shiny, but it's not glittery. I did that off camera because obviously it takes a while to dry. This is the finished layout. So a nice bit of dimension there. You know, I like a few foam pads if I can. Thank you very much for watching. Here's the full image, and there'll be some close-ups so you can see the inks and the centres of the flowers a little bit better. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and we'll hope to see you here again very soon. Bye for now.